The arguments against impeaching Donald Trump from Democrats, not Republicans, from Democrats, seem to increase by the day. The thing is, they're all bullshit. So let's just go through each and every one of them so I can show you why they're all so weak and so nonsensical. The public doesn't support it. Well, that's true. As of right now, the polls show there's no clear majority in favor of impeaching Trump. As of right now. But look, go back to June 1973, a month after the famous Senate Watergate Committee hearings had kicked off. Less than 20% of Americans backed impeaching President Nixon at that point. As historian Kevin Cruz and others have pointed out, it wasn't until a whole year later, at the end of July 1974, as the House Judiciary Committee was preparing to recommend articles of impeachment, and just 2 weeks before he resigned, that a clear majority of Americans supported removing Nixon from office. Next, it needs to be bipartisan.
If there's evidence that the president should be impeached, it should be self-evident to the public in a bipartisan way.
Back in November, Nancy Pelosi said she wouldn't move forward on this issue without Republican support. Well, Representative Justin Amash, one of the most conservative Republicans in the House, has now come out in favor of impeachment. A former member of the Trump transition team has come out for impeachment. So it's bipartisan now. Next, it'll divide the country. Here's Pelosi again. I don't think we should go down that path because it divides the country and he's just not worth it. Memo to the House Speaker. The country's already divided. It's more divided than it's been for decades. In fact, the only thing that Americans seem to agree on is that they're divided. Next, it'll energize Trump's base. Impeaching Trump will rile up his supporters, say nervous Democrats. It'll solidify support for Trump, to quote Pelosi. Well, I have some breaking news. The Trump base is already energized. Here they are at a rally in May, chanting an oh-so-familiar refrain. He doesn't need impeachment to rile them up. He still has Hillary Clinton. He has Ilhan Omar, Colin Kaepernick, insane claims about Democrats murdering babies. Here's a thought. Maybe the Democrats should worry less about Trump's base and more about their own base, which wants to impeach the president and needs to be energized come 2020. Next, Trump wants to be impeached. Apparently it's all a trap. He's desperate for Democrats to impeach him so he can play the victim. That's the view of Speaker Pelosi.
Trump is goading us to impeach him. That's what he's doing.
Come on, this is absurd. The idea that this thin-skinned, narcissistic megalomaniac who is obsessed with comparing himself to Abraham Lincoln wants to go down in history with Andrew Johnson and Bill Clinton as only the third president to ever be impeached by Congress is ridiculous. There is zero evidence for that claim. Zero. The truth is, Trump will almost certainly lose his shit if or when he's impeached by the House. Next, he can't be convicted in the Senate. Yes, you need a 2/3 majority in the Senate to remove a sitting president. And the Democrats don't have a majority, let alone a 2/3 majority. So the whole thing is pointless. Not true. The point of impeachment is for members of the House to do their duty, to hold a president to account, to draw a line in the sand, regardless of what the Senate does, regardless of the political fallout. Listen to House Oversight Committee Chair Elijah Cummings.
There comes a point in life where we all have to make decisions based upon the fact that it is our watch. And, you know, history, I think, even if we did not win possibly, if there were not impeachment, I think history would smile upon us for standing up for the Constitution.
Next, it's a distraction. Why focus on impeachment when you can't get it through the Senate, say some Democrats? Why not focus on bread and butter issues like healthcare and jobs and wages? Well, first of all, you can walk and chew gum at the same time. It's not either or. But second, if the argument is that you can't get impeachment through a Republican-controlled Senate, then what makes you think you can get any of your other issues through the Senate either? In fact, last time I checked, Democrats in the House have passed around 100 pieces of legislation since January, and they're all just languishing in the Republican-controlled Senate. Next, remember Bill Clinton. The impeachment of President Clinton haunts the Democratic leadership in the House, who were all around back then in 1998 when the Republicans tried and failed to remove Clinton from office. For Democrats, 1998 was the year Republicans lost 5 House seats in the midterms, while Clinton's popularity soared. But here's what they don't mention. The Republicans still held on to the House and Senate in 1998 and went on to win the presidency too just 2 years later. You remember this guy, right? So it's a myth to say impeaching Bill Clinton hurt the GOP. It didn't. It hurt Al Gore. And here's the thing, it's not as if Nancy Pelosi isn't aware of how high the stakes are.
I pray for the President of the United States. I wish that his family or his administration or his staff would have an intervention for the good of the country.
So let's be clear. Pelosi knows that Trump is unstable, knows he's unfit for office. But her solution is for Mike Pence and Melania Trump to stage an intervention, rather than for House Democrats to do their fricking job. History will not judge her or her fellow Democrats kindly if they continue to sit on their hands. Because when it comes to impeachment, if not Trump, who? If not now, when?